What is good, homies? This is Chris from the Small Hat Crew, joined today by Small Hat Nick.
Hello.
And Small Hat Manny from Manifest.
Hello, everybody.
Today we're going to be reviewing some more cards. I didn't realize how far behind we fell. I swear it seems like every single card review starts like how we're behind. It's so consistent. Or I guess what's consistent is that we're not consistent. But before we jump into this one, anything anybody wants to say?
I am puzzled by... I'm just puzzled by some of the cards where, like some of them are like stupidly good, and then some of them are just like stupidly bad, even for power creep standards. But we'll get into that when we get there.
Okay, alrighty. So then I guess with that being said, we'll go ahead and hop into this one. We're going to start with Vanderdecken the 4th.
Yeah, I like this card.
Oh no, the 9th. The 9th. It's an X. Vanderdecken the 9th. Green character. Cost 2. 2000 power. Ranged. Fishman. Flying pirates. Counter 1000. On play, you may trash a Fishman type card from your hand or trash a Noah's Ark from your hand or field. KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters.
This man don't give a fuck what's rested. You're throwing a Fishman at it and killing it. Like, it's literally...
You're throwing a boat at it.
Yeah, yes. You can throw the boat at it too, but we haven't seen the boat.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the boat's going to be the same as kind of like an L stage where I'm pretty sure it's the searcher where it's like pay one, it searches, and then it just
sits on your board.
It just sits on the board until he comes to deal with it.
It would be so random for the boat to be the searcher for the Fishman Pirates.
Well, no, because all the Fishman Pirates lived in the Ark district in Fishman Island, right?
Yeah. Well, no, wasn't the boat? I could have sworn the boat was just some like
it was like the outlaw
abandoned
district.
Boat that wasn't being utilized by anybody, and he fucking chucked that shit at a miner that he was in love with.
He did.
Well, yes, but the thing is, like, where they were from, on the Fishman district was next to it.
I'm pretty sure. I could have sworn Noah's Ark was the hangout for like the pirates of Fishman Island Ark.
No, they had their own boat, if I remember right. They had their own boat. It just happened to be there, and everyone just kind of treated it as like sacred ground because nobody was supposed to fuck with it.
I do remember that. Because I think they didn't fuck with it because they thought it was one of the 3 ancient weapons.
No. Well, it is one of the 3 ancient weapons, but no one else knows that besides the royal family.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, no. Wasn't it that it wasn't? And
no.
Wasn't it that it's not, but Shirahoshi was the actual ancient weapon?
Yes. That's what it is. But Noah's Ark is supposedly...
It was left behind by... Was it Joy Boy? I don't know.
Yeah, Joy Boy. Yes.
It was left behind by Joy Boy. And all of like the big sea monsters knew about it and brought it back to where it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Fuck, we went off on a tangent. So, I mean, the card.
The card. Cool, and it's very good.
Yes.
It pops anything on the board.
For 2 costs, like, and then like you probably get rid of this stage that's probably a one-time use. Yeah.
Okay.
And the best part about it is that the Noah's Ark doesn't have to be on board. It could just be in your hand.
In your hand, yeah. I will say the one thing about it is whatever he's popping does have to be tapped already. So if you are popping something big, it probably has already, like swung at you. So it's probably already pulled counter your hand and taken a life off of you. Because for the most part, green isn't really good at tapping things above like 5. For the most part.
Well, don't forget they have the 7 cost rush that just taps anything now, don't they?
They do. And Hody. There's also the Fishman. I believe his name is like Karubi or Chu. I forget what it is. He's like a 4 cost 3k or whatever, but he comes out, he just taps something. He doesn't care about cost, but he has bad stat line. Yeah, so it looks like they are getting some pretty indiscriminate tap. Whatever. I don't know.
I think this card's flavorful. It's true to the character. Even though Fishman Ark was garbage. So I'd give this like a solid 3.5.
I'd give it the same thing, 3.5.
I think this card's what?
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say it's a very strong card, but it's not overwhelming.
I think this, you guys gave it a 3.5. I think this card's a 3. Because it is one of the forms of like removal that does require like a condition has to have already been met, and if the condition isn't already met, then you have to spend another card to make that happen. So for that reason, what?
Yeah, but the difference is that it's unlimited
Well, no, I get that.
Removal of the character targets.
I understand that 100%, but I think the trade-off, the reason it's unlimited is because it is removal that has a condition to it. Of
course.
You know, because I think the only way you're making popping tapped characters good is to remove, because I've said it forever ago, I don't think, if something has to be tapped, then I don't think there should be a cost restriction on it, because you've already added one hoop that the opponent has to jump through. Either they have to jump through a hoop to tap it, or it's probably already served its purpose, unless it's red rushed. And even then, actually, it still served its purpose because it rushed. So, yeah, this is either a removal where a card has already done its job, or you're spending a second card on doing it. And also, if you are spending a second card, you're also spending a third card on your discard for this card. So, yeah. With that being said, I think this is a 3. I think. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if this card didn't see play, actually, now that I think about it.
No, you know what it is? I think
What?
this is when Straw Sword comes back into the meta. Because Straw Sword versus anything,
The
regardless.
Straw Sword's already, actually, no, it's not. I was gonna say, because in Yamato, they're playing, what's the 1-cost event they're playing again? It's the 1-cost Kappa Fiber Lower?
Yeah, Fiber Lure, but Straw Sword doesn't have a limit.
Yeah, but it costs 2, right?
Yeah, but I will pay 1 more to tap a Big Mom and then pay 2 more to pop it.
Yeah, I don't know, though, because so you're spending 2 on the Straw Sword, then you're spending 2 on this, and then you're pulling a third card out of your hand, unless, like, there's a boat or a fishman. Wait, does it pop fishman from board, or is it only the boat? Only the boat is from field. So, assuming boat is good enough to see play, then there's a potential you could be popping it from board. If boat doesn't see play, or if it's not on the board already, this popping 1 card costs 3 cards from your hand. I don't know. I'm not as big on that. It's pulling 3 cards out of your hand and it's costing 4 Dawn. I think that's a bit much. So I'm gonna give this card a 3. I'm gonna leave that at 3.
That's fine.
Thanks, sir.
Moving on to our next card, we have Fleeting Lullaby, green cost event, 3 green event, 3 cost song. Oh, I guess. Interesting.
All of her events are songs.
I didn't know that. Main, if your leader is Uta, choose up to 2 of your opponent's rested cost 4 or lower characters. Cannot be set as active during your opponent's next refresh phase. Trigger, activate this card's main effect.
I think the card's mid.
Yeah, very mid.
Yeah.
If it said 5 costs, this card would have been crazy good. But because it says 4, it's just eh.
It's 4, and it just can't be set as active. I think this is bad. I don't like this card. I don't think this card sees play. Because basically, I don't think we really need to go into it. I'm gonna give this card a 2.
I give it you're way more generous than me. I give it a 1.
I like 2. I think it can see utility.
Yeah, it's I guess a tool. I don't know if it's a tool anyone will ever want to use, but you know, it's not the pits. It's not the worst of the worst. This isn't fucking Yellow Otama. Yellow Top. Okay, next we have Where the Wind Blows, green event, 2 cost, song, film. Main, if your leader is Uta, at the end of your turn, set all your film type characters as active. Triggers, set all your film type characters as active. How the fuck is this card printed?
It's this card is busted.
How did this card get printed alongside the other one? They are coming out together, and the other one cost more and it's worse. What the?
This card
doesn't make any sense.
Fucking nuts.
This card's broken. I'm gonna swing with all my Luffy blockers and then restand.
Yep.
Oh my god, this
card is
ridiculous.
Amazing.
This card lets Uta be so aggressive. Oh my god.
Yep.
The fact that all the Luffy's turn sideways at magic number minimum, and then they just restand for 2 Dawn. You just give up 2 Dawn and you do it. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
And then the best part is like even if your opponent, like let's say you try to go like all in, right? And then like your opponent's at 0, but you put them on a turn where it's like you gotta have it, and let's say you have like 2 life. If this hits off trigger, you restand all your blockers.
Yeah.
You're just like, what now? You're like,
it's gonna
solid, like 4 Uta.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is
this is a 4.
It is a 4. I was debating a 4.5 even. This card's insane.
No, because the thing is, by itself, it doesn't particularly do anything, and only having 1 film character isn't enough to drop it. So, like, you need to have a board of at least, like, 2, 3
I think just for
film
two,
characters on board.
just two characters, I think would still make this good. Because it pretty much makes it so that your opponent can't even try to fight for your board. Even if you don't have blockers to restand with it, whatever you put on there, unless your opponent can pop it, it's making it to the next turn. This card's really good. Yeah, I don't know. It's a 4.
It's a 4.
Alright, next we have Totes Musica. Red character, 5 cost, 6,000 power, film, 1,000 counter. Activate main once per turn. You may rest one of your Uta. This character gains 5,000 power for this turn.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I'm a big fan of this card. I like it a lot too.
So you can rest your little Uta blocker in red, purple Uta. Actually, Uta blocker is green, so it can't mess with that.
But there is the purple Uta blocker.
Yeah, no, that's all. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Rest Uta blocker. It rests the 4-drop red Uta that grabs shit from trash, or just leader, and it becomes a big swing.
Yep.
I mean, we do have red-green leaders. You know, maybe.
Maybe we do a red-green film package.
Yeah.
Go wild.
I think there's
you want
something
to flop this on board with red-green law, brother?
But I was thinking, because with the tiny little green Uta, that she costs 3, right? She's a 3 blocker that restands.
Yeah, 3/4 blocker that pitch a film card to restand a film card.
Yeah, you could potentially tap the little one, because she's not attacking anyway. Tap her, this guy, like, shoots up to 11k. Swing.
Ooh, you know what's another thing you could do?
What?
You know the red Uta that grabs a red card from the grave?
Yeah, I said...
Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's... And then, actually, no. I think this is a really good card. I don't know what it would see playing. Outside of red, purple Uta, of course.
I was gonna say just red, purple.
Yeah. What about red Uta? We have red Uta leader.
Stop.
Bro, she exists?
Yeah,
wait, does the leader count as the tap? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is a good card. I'm gonna give this card a 3.5.
I'll give it. Yeah, I have no reason to say otherwise. Yeah.
This card is a 5 cost character that can just shoot up to 11k. It's kind of insane.
For the freezies.
For the freezies.
Another card that I don't think should exist. Hot Musica. It's funny because they're the same name as the other card.
Well, we have cards with letter names. They're the same.
True.
You know, these two aren't even the same color.
They aren't.
No, so I think that's fair.
Unless we play them in the red-green law deck.
Yeah, or red-green Luffy.
Stop.
We have Totes Musica, green character, 2 cost,
Green
song film. Green event, 2 cost, song film. Main, you may rest one of your Uta, rest up to 2 of your opponent's Dawn. Oh, this card's ass.
Card's awful.
What the fuck? I did not expect that after what we just came off of, the highs.
Say, this is the pits.
This is real bad. Shit, this might just be a... Oh. Okay, well, this card's... Rest a Uta, rest 2 of them. This card's I'm gonna give it a 0. This card's terrible, what the hell?
You know what? I would agree with it if it was a 1 cost that said counter. And it let you -2 Dawn from your opponent at that point. But during the main, this card's terrible.
Well, I would prefer it during the main. That way I could push game while my opponent has Dawn for a event or something. I think tapping your opponent's Dawn on their turn sounds awful.
Well, that's not necessarily so, because when someone swings and then you do it, then you mess up their whole turn. Especially if they invested Dawn to a character on the swing. You messed up their line.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I think the potential to mess up their line isn't as significant as, if they, for example, say you can't kill me next turn because I have this counter event, and then you just tap the Dawn and you just go for game. I think that's, I would rather be able to tap 2 Dawn, against Green Purple Doki, I'd rather be able to take their 2 Dawn on my turn than make them not have 2 Dawn to play with on their turn. Especially if it's a deck that plays on curve or whatever, and they just spend all the Dawn anyway. They're just dropping characters on curve. Because they may not even do anything at that point. I don't know. This card's ass though. This is a 0.
Yeah, it's still a 0.
Yeah. Agreed.
Next, we have the world's continuation. Green event, 2 cost. Song, film. Counter, if your leader is Uta, you may return any number of your characters from your board to your hand. For this battle, give up to one of your leader or characters 2,000 power for each character returned this way. I think this is also ass.
I like this card a lot.
Really?
This card is either one, a game saving situation, or two, it gives your opponent the false security of a win, because you can so you put yourself in a situation where you just push them to their limit, where it's like, hey, I want to kill you on the next turn, and when they come on the crackback and they're like, oh well, you don't have enough counter with your 2 Dawn, I'm going to go like 15 big. You go, cool. Play
this is 10k counter if you.
This is 10k counter. Yep.
But like, if you do that, then you're setting yourself up to die if you can't kill your opponent the next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like the best case scenario is it goes plus 10k, but you don't have to return everything. It can be plus 8k. Yeah. Leave your blocker Luffy and leader on board and go for game next turn.
Exactly.
I think this card has a lot of potential. Plus, you're playing it in green Uta. You can bounce back like Searchers, Searcher Nami, save her. Then cheat her back off of broken shit like that.
I'm gonna
also another thing is like go ahead.
I was gonna say green Uta also plays the Mihawks. This can bounce back your Mihawk. That's another 2k counter in hand.
Yep.
That's true.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, this card will then give you more counter if you need it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get that. I don't know.
I also like the shit art on it.
I think I'll give it a 3.5. I think this card is above average.
I think this card is a 2. Because it's an event that has the potential to not do anything, which we've seen like with Union Armado. Counter events have the potential to not be useful, because this one basically requires that you have something on board. And then also it's like, it has the potential to shoot the 10k, but that means you're putting your entire board back in your hand. You know, I think on average, you usually have like 2 to 3 characters on the board. You would have to bounce at least 2 characters just to be able to do what a regular 2-cost event does. And the only way you're not doing that is if you're not putting your entire board back in your hand, is if you have at least 3 characters on the board. And then even then, if I do have 3 characters on the board, do I have 2 I want to put back in my hand? You know, would I rather just have the swings on the board for the following turn? I don't know. I see the high roll for, you know, I survive this turn, but like, if I'm bouncing on so many characters that I am surviving the turn, am I able to kill on the crackback with, you know, all my attacks back in my hand and just stuff like that? I'm not a fan of this card at all.
Maybe it's not a 4 of, maybe it's a 2 of.
Oh no, it's never a 4 of. I would have said this card's a 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this card a 2, and yeah, do I even think it would see play? Do I give this a 2? So it's locked to Uta. God, would I ever run this over? Would I run this over Spiderweb? Because I don't think I would. Yeah, no, I don't like this card actually. I'm gonna give this card a 1.5. I'm gonna give this card a 1.5. And yeah, I will go ahead and move on to our next card. We have Borsellino, blue character, 2 cost, 4,000 power, special, Navy. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, this character gains blockers. So 2 cost, 4k blocker with no counter.
Yeah, I don't know why a lot of the new blue archetype stuff is just like if you have a low hand size, because there's other cards on here that are like that.
Well, that was Blue's initial identity. I don't know why it ever... Honestly, that's not even... As I say, I don't know why they ever left it, but then I remember why they left it. It was because this was their identity, and then the Ivankov didn't care about Blue's identity and ditched it, and Nami didn't care about Blue's identity and ditched it. So, I think they're going back to what Blue was initially. They're finally acknowledging the identity they set forth for Blue, because we saw this with, like, Boa, for example. Love Beam cared about hand size.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they cared about that for drawing, because all those cards have in common is that they didn't want you to be able to be like, oh, I have 10 cards, let me draw more cards. They want, like, that's how they balance it. I don't think it was an identity. I just think that was a way they balanced to draw cards in step one.
The reason I do think it's an identity is because it was an that was a restriction that was unique to Blue specifically. No other colors ever said anything like that.
Oh no, no other colors had a restriction.
Yeah, that was a restriction that was unique to blue cards. So I do think that was part of it. What?
I do think though that a 2-drop 4K like vanilla stats on a blocker is just really good for the most part.
Oh my bad.
No, you're good.
Continue.
Nah, that's all I want to say about it. Like for a Navy deck that this is searchable. Wait, is it Navy? Yeah. That is searchable. It's a very big blocker. So like let's say someone did tap it, like a lot of searchers can't just go crash into it.
Yeah.
So it's just little things. I'll give it a 2.5.
Nick.
It is a blocker of all time with vanilla stats. I don't like that it doesn't have a counter and it's a conditional blocker. I'd probably say like a 1.5, 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this card a 1. To me, if the blocker is ever below 5k, it makes no difference to me what it is. This could be 3k or 4k for all I care. It's not surviving a swing in a leader, so that doesn't matter to me. Like, I'd rather just pay 1 Dawn for like a wall blocker, for example. I don't really care that it's searchable. I hate that it has no counter. I hate that it's a blocker with no counter that might not even be a blocker, also. I think.
Yeah, if you take too much damage, it's just not a blocker anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he only needs 1 Dawn to then be a threat, you know?
Yeah, but then now I'm investing Dawn into a 5k swing, which also isn't great. And then also me doing that is like, so I'm having to invest Dawn into a 5k swing because he couldn't serve as a blocker, which is like his job. Like, I think this card's very flawed. I think this card's a 1. I'm not a fan of this card at all.
I'll give it a 2. I'll drop to a 2.
Okay.
I already said 2.
Oh, okay. Well, then I stick to 2.
Next card, we have Raise Max, red character, 1 cost, 2000 power, wisdom, film, revolutionary army. Activate main. You may place this character at the bottom of the owner's deck. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3000 power during this turn. This is
I've never
Gordon.
seen a card like this before.
This is Gordon with a revolutionary army tag.
What?
So this is a strictly better Gordon, isn't it? Oh wait, no, it's it is.
No, it's literally better Gordon.
Film Rev Army.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is
Gordon
strictly better.
Film.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. Because it's strictly better because it has it is Gordon. Just the only difference is it has an extra tag. That is.
I think Gordon is also wisdom.
3K.
He is wisdom. Gordon is wisdom.
But isn't Gordon also 3K? Or am
Gordon's
No, he's 2.
He's 2K also. Okay.
It's literally Gordon with an extra tag.
Okay.
What would y'all rate Gordon? I think Gordon's like a 5.
I don't think we even really need to rate the card, if I'm being honest, because Gordon's already like a card that we've seen.
Well, yeah, but this is a better Gordon just because he has an extra tag.
You guys can rate it if you want. I'm not gonna bother.
If Gordon's a 5, he is a 5.1.
Gordon's not a 5.
Yeah. I'm just going off Nick's logic.
I think Gordon's pretty high up because he's just raw utility.
I'm not saying I don't think that. I'm just saying I don't think Gordon's a 5.
Well, this is higher than Gordon, so whatever Gordon is, this is higher.
Okay, that's fair.
Next we have Charlotte Pudding, blue character, cost 4, power 4000, wisdom, Big Mom Pirates. On play, your opponent returns all of their hand cards to their deck and shuffles their deck. Then your opponent draws 5 cards. I love this card.
Kill Whitebeard after they killed Whitebeard.
God. I love this card so much.
Japan has this card. I mean, Japan will have this card for themselves, but like, we really don't have a reason for this. This could the only deck in the US in the West where this card sees value is against green purple Dolphy if they pop off, but that's it. Because you're not dealing with Whitebeard anymore here, so.
I disagree. I don't think Whitebeard is the only card, because like for example, like whenever you're playing black, for example, Isho requires a hand size of 6, and he went off more often than not. The purple law blocker we've seen, whenever he hits the board, he also requires a larger hand. He goes off more often than not. She has a smaller condition for what she so she has her condition is a lot easier to meet. It only has to be 5. We've seen those other cards with higher conditions or higher restrictions. They went off all the time. They went off all the time, and sometimes it's even harder to play around Isho, despite it being 6. So I don't really think there's ever going to be a point where she's in your hand and you can't just put her on the board and take your opponent's hand. And also
a Pokemon card that made your opponent shuffle and redraw because like
it's called Judge. It was Judge. N also did that, but N was disgusting because like if your opponent was winning the game, they'd have like one prize left.
Oh, that's right, their prizes. Yeah.
This would be closer to I think like Marnie, for example. Like she's a more recent card that does that, but she like they draw, I believe they draw 4 and you draw 5. But it's like Judge was just literally this card. It's literally this card. Yeah, I think this card's really good because not only did those 2 cards pull 2 cards out of the opponent's hand, like Isho and the Law, she has like her high roll potential is insane. She could be pulling who knows how many cards out of the hand and just putting them back in the deck. Not to mention with Gecko and stuff running around, assumingly like she doesn't even put them in the grave. Like they are just going back into the deck. Also, your opponent like. I don't know, like you're playing against like a yellow, for example, or whatever, and you've seen them search Big Mom at some point in the game, you just put it back in the deck and make them draw again. Like, she just resets hands. I like this card a lot. I don't think she's a 4 of by any means, but I do think this card is really good. Even if like she's not great, she has counter, so you just discard her at that point if she's not relevant. I'm a big fan of this card. I like this card a lot.
I do feel like this is one of the cards that would like make me think that Bandai's thinking about a side deck.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. I don't know what I would give it though.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I like 3. It's above average.
I'm gonna give this card a 4. I like this card a lot. I like this card so much. You have no idea how much I like this card.
It's just like it's in blue where that like if you're dropping this, 4 Dawn is a lot for blue because none of your other plays are really going off. You're kind of committing your play to this.
Yeah, but I think the only reason you would ever be committing your play to this is because it's a disgusting play to do at that time. If it wasn't the play, you just discard her for counter. If you're spending the 4 Dawn to put her on the board, it's because it's going to be disgusting into your opponent's hand. Not to mention, like, I want to say on average, card hand sizes, it seems like they're usually like around 7 or 8 cards. So if you put this on the board, your opponent's losing 3 cards out of their hand. I do think, also, because I think, just, if you're ever, like, your opponent, their hands is getting pretty big or whatever. I think it's not even unrealistic that like if you put her on the board, shuffle their hand back in, now you've shrunken their hand from like 9 or 10 cards back down to 5. They might even just lose the game, because they may not even have the counter necessary for the.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I think this card's really gross. I don't think she's a 4 of at all. I see maybe like running 2 copies or something. I love this card a lot though. I think its power creep keeps happening. Because we saw just like in general, just like from OP01 to OP02, hand sizes got ridiculous. I think actually Whitebeard played a big factor in that. But then from OP01 to OP03, then it wasn't just Whitebeard anymore. Then Zoro's hand was also getting ridiculously big. And the hands are just big in general. That's why Isho was going off all the time. And hand sizes we've seen in OP05 are still ridiculously big. And that's why Lot Blocker's going off all the time. Like, as the game gets faster and faster, hands just get bigger and bigger. So I think this card will only get better as time goes on and hands and decks just search more.
I will say this.
What?
There is a weird scenario where like I just realized and I'm pretty sure it'll maybe happen once in like 2 blue moons, where that in the blue mirror or some blue variant where like the game's going on to late game. Your opponent, so like let's say your opponent has 3 cards in deck and 1 card in hand. You can just play this to win.
Yeah, I will also say because there are also scenarios where, for example, like if your opponent has 2 Dawn open and they're telegraphing having counter event, you just play this card, put it back in their deck. They just played their last turn with 2 less Dawn unnecessarily, and now they've lost the counter event on top of it.
True.
And also it's because it's like you'd have had to spend the 4 Dawn into making your character climb minimum 4k to even be able to match the counter event anyway. So instead of spending the 4 Dawn on an attack, you just put a body on the board instead. I think there's a lot of...
I would cry if I did that play and then, I swung and the opponent, like dropped an event and then he tells me after, oh, I was bluffing until you did this.
Just like Red Green Law is no longer a deck as far as we're probably aware. Who knows? But like That was another deck that is abused repeatedly playing bodies to get +1s. I think hands will continue to just get bigger as One Piece goes on. We will move on to our next card. So we were talking about like that Perona where I said I don't think there would ever be another card that would provoke that reaction from me. Unless it was like Yamato leader. I take that back. This card is stupid. Oh Nami, yellow character, cost 2, 3,000 power, Straw Hat Crew, counter 1,000. On play, give up to one of your leaders or characters banished for this turn. Trigger, KO up to one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters. This card's fucking stupid. This card is stupid. This card is so dumb. Oh my god. And I remember I was talking to Nick earlier, and I was like, no wonder Red Nami got banned. Because this shit was right around the corner. But then I was like, well, never mind, because she's a Nami, and Nami can't search Nami. But then I remembered they changed her name to Oh Nami, so Nami could grab it. So it's like, realistically, this card just shouldn't have been printed. This card is so degenerate for so many reasons. So before we even jump into anything regarding this card, second channel mascot, Zeus. Zeus is a 3-cost character with 1,000 power. Does he have 1,000 or is he a 0?
He's
1,000, right? He's a 3-cost. He costs 1 more, has 2,000 less power, and he can only give banish to Big Mom. Nami costs less, has more power, and gives it to fucking everything and anything. She's not even limited to characters or leaders. She just does both. Like, I don't know what happened here. And then because she costs 2, you could give banish to your Yamato leader. You could give it to one of your characters on the board. Yamato will then refund that 2 Don and just put it on something else. You could try to put this on the leader and then try to swing big to try to banish 2 cards from their hand. You could go ahead and put this on a character and then Yamato moves the 2 Don to that character so that that character is likely going to... And she doesn't even limit herself to yellow characters either. Oh my god. But like, you could potentially put them in a position where it's like, I'm pumping my character by 2k and giving it banish. I'm going to swing with my Yamato. And either you're going to take this hit so you at least pick up the 2 cards, or you counter out of this attack and then you lose your next card from when I hit you. You know, you don't pick up the life. Like, this card is so ridiculous. I don't know what the fuck Bandai's doing. I don't know what they're doing. Oh my god.
But it's not searchable in yellow, Chris.
Oh my, please. Well, what if, so, remember we talked in the tier list, you weren't there for that one, so me and you, Nick, then. Remember we were talking about us finally getting, getting a Zeus? What if they just did what they did with, Gordon? Where they just printed the next card? What if, like, they ban Nami and then just print, like, they just print Zeus, it's just Nami, but with the extra tag, it has the homie tag?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, he's a Straw Hat. I don't know. I feel like I've spoken so much on this one, so you guys feel free to just weigh in or say whatever you want to say about this card, because this is fucking stupid.
This can give the banish to Yamato leader. That's a double attack banish now. It's 5-drop Yamato.
Yes.
She can give it to 9-drop Zoro if she opts in to play it, so that's 3 attacks with banish, and she gives the 2 rested Dawn Yamato again. Yamato gives the 2 rested Dawn from this card to anything, including the 9-cost Zoro.
Yeah.
If, heaven forbid, somebody wants to try and find out Arlong on attack, play this card and give himself the banish. So it's just like jump scare, I guess.
Why does she have counter?
Why does she have... Bro, this card is so overtuned. Oh yeah, this trigger is just Thunderbolt. So now with the Zoro promo, with this card and Thunderbolt, your yellow deck just plays 12 Thunderbolts.
Yep.
I just don't what happened here? What the fuck happened? It was like they were designing 3 different good cards, and then they're like, well, boys, we have too many cards, and they're like, consolidate them all into one card. Like, oh my, she is good. Fuck, the only thing they could have done differently was give her 2k. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised that they didn't make her 2k. I've lost faith. Bandai, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Go for it.
Here you go. 2 cost, 5k attack, 2k counter, same effect.
God, I just don't know. I don't know what is going on over here. The design team, what are they doing? They test their game. We already knew that with Yamato leader, and that's another thing too, because Yamato leader was the card that, or the leader everyone's been talking about how stupid she is, and then they print this card, and then they give it to yellow. Like, I just don't know what's happening down there. What is this? What the fuck is happening over at Bandai HQ? I don't know, man. This shit blows my mind. This is stupid. It would not surprise me if this card got put on the list. This card is stupid.
This card is severely overtuned. There's no realistically, there's no reason this card should actually exist. There's no Yellow's not going to be in a situation where it needs this card. Yellow in this set is arguably the strongest deck. And then like even mono yellow is just gonna play the fuck out of this card because there's no reason not to. This card is just such a huge threat for minimum investment, and then like even if the main effect is bad, the trigger is phenomenal in yellow where you can stack your life.
The trigger's phenomenal. The effect is phenomenal. She has counter. She's also a 3k body, so it doesn't even take that much to make her match leader.
For 2.
I just don't understand. And then, if there ever is a reality where, cause I don't see Red Nami staying on the list. Like, because I think it's stupid that she's on there. I think it's so dumb that, but like, if Nami ever comes off the list, red yellow leaders get dumb. They get really fucking stupid. You just play a Nami, search this, and like Bello Betty, and then you discard a card, pump everything by 3k.
Brother, we have the 3 brothers started next to the red yellow leader in there.
Oh yeah, we are getting another red yellow leader. Yep. God, and you have to think too, so like this card in Bello Betty, for example, you would play this card, give something banish, discard a card, you now have a giant swinger that now has banish, and then on the following turn, when you do your Bello Betty discard pump, she pumps this because it has trigger. So you don't even need to invest on into it.
True.
I don't understand what happened here. God, I think this might be, because like with a Yamato leader or whatever, it's like she's so poorly designed, and it's like they have no idea what they're doing, right? But I think, you know, she's broken, obviously, but like in a very dumb way or whatever. This card, I think this might be like their worst example of card design. I think this might be the dumbest they've ever done it. She's overtuned in every fucking possible way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my!
I should not have had counter. This card should not have been in swinging range.
She's actually what we talked about before, where we're like, oh, like there is no card that's better than Yamato. This card is actually just better than Yamato.
I think.
I don't know about that.
I think it is. I think it is because like this card is going to be a yellow staple, not just for 3-4 sets. This is gonna be a yellow staple until I'm like unless they want to make this game into Yu-Gi-Oh, this I don't see this card ever leaving.
So the reason I don't think she's better than Yamato is because I think whenever you play this card, it's gonna be fucking gross and disgusting. However, I will say, one, she does cost 2 Dawn, which isn't a lot by any means, but at the end of the day, you do at least have to spend some kind of resource to put her on the board. Yamato leader is just, so one, she does cost a resource, and 2, you do have to see her. Yamato leader is always there. She is always there, a looming threat, and there's nothing you can do about her to make her disappear or anything. That leader is always sitting there with double attack, threatening to move 2 Dawn around every single turn. This Nami's gonna have disgusting turns when she hits the board, but once she's done that, she isn't doing anything else. You know, at most, she's 2 Dawn. And Yamato, so she moves to 2 Dawn to it, I guess, and makes it into like a free swing into opposing leader. But like, this card is disgusting on one turn. Yamato's disgusting every turn of the fucking game. Because every single turn, she's threatening to pull 2 life off of you or empty your hand. That's why I think Yamato is the more... Because also you have to think too, there is like a reality where like I'm playing yellow, I just never draw this card. And it's like, it's in my deck, it exists in there, but it's done nothing the entire game. Whereas my leader was always there. My leader just fucking went stupid the entire game. And probably needs to be banned, in all honesty. But yeah.
I see that. Yeah, you're right.
It's God, this card's a 5.
This is a card 5, yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6.
I'll give it a 6 also, this card. I just don't understand. I'm struggling to wrap my head around what happened here.
I know I've said it like on top of this card being yellow, we have 3 new we have a red yellow, black yellow, and a blue-yellow leader coming out in a starter deck. That starter deck, because it has those 3 colors in it, are also going to have nothing but yellow support in that deck. So clearly whatever Bandai's doing is not balancing colors. I don't know what they're doing.
They're not balancing colors. Go for it, Manny.
I was gonna say, if the 3 brothers structure deck and all of them have yellow, I would dare to think
the entire deck's probably going to be yellow.
That the deck is going to be yellow, and there's going to be a yellow searcher that searches Straw Hats, or has a means of searching this card.
Well, if we play the red-yellow we have in Saboti Archipelago, to grab it.
Yeah.
People were theory crafting the black-yellow. I think I talked to Chris about this already. You could play the 7-drop Restand Luffy and Kong pistol. So you just pump it, give it banish, double attack, and hit multiple times a turn.
Powerful.
God, I think I'm not allowed to play ass.
Oh yeah, no, it's the highest roll possible.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, you just swing 16 3 times with banish.
Yes.
I don't know.
There's power creep, and then there's power running. And this boy power running.
He's power running.
I mean, this girl will be power running.
He's cha-cha real smooth.
Exactly.
One hop this time.
But with that being said, then until next time, we'll see you guys.
Later.
Bye-bye.